This is the Theresorium. You may be wondering what that is, or what it was used for. This odd-looking tool might not seem like much, but it had a very specific purpose. Maybe you think it was used to scrap pillars, wash tables, or clean statues. Well, no, actually it wasn't used for any of that. In ancient Rome, using the bathroom was far from a private experience. People used public toilets called latrines, which were shared by many residents of the city on a daily basis. It was made of long rows of stone seats with holes, sometimes arranged in lines, sometimes in rectangles, like here. So if the place was crowded, you'd be sitting shoulder to shoulder with other Romans, all doing their business, number one, number two, or both. Now picture this, a whole room of people, but just one sponge on a stick being shared. So what you would do is you would wipe or rinse it in some water, maybe vinegar or salt water if you were lucky, and then hand it to the next person. Imagine being the last guy in line. Some historians even suggest that the Theresorium might not have been used only on yourself, but perhaps to wipe another person, since the stick design may have made it awkward or difficult to use on your own body. So some say that possibly it was also used to help wipe the person sitting nearby. You would just come up to the guy, make him spread his legs, and help him get clean. That theory sounds a bit far-fetched, but let's be honest, out of all the people crammed into those Roman toilets, somebody probably tried it at some point. The rinse water was usually kept in buckets, or it ran through narrow channels built into the floor, allowing people to dip sponges or clean themselves as needed. Romans would dunk the Theresorium in this bucket, or the groove in the ground, and give it to the next person. Vinegar water killed some bacteria, but let's be real. After few people were done with it, that thing had to absolutely stink like hell. Also, supposedly phrases like first come, first served or early bird catches the worm might have started here. Because the earlier you used the sponge, the cleaner it was. And if you were the last one to get it, well, it only got worse. Now, this was mostly for common people. Not everyone had to squeeze into public latrines. The wealthy, living in grand houses called domus, often enjoyed private toilets instead. So let's travel to one of these houses now. The insides of these houses were naturally much nicer, but don't expect modern luxury. It was usually just a wooden bench with a hole over a drain, and most of the times the toilet didn't even have a door. Privacy was not a big deal back then. They still used sponges on sticks like the common Roman, but the rich likely kept their own instead of sharing, or even had multiple. You know, the classic 1% thing. And with more access to clean water, they could afford slightly better hygiene by swapping the dirty water more often. But here's the big question you may be wondering: where did all the waste actually go? The Romans were surprisingly advanced in sanitation. Both public and private toilets were connected to a sewer system that carried wastewater out of the city. The most famous one was the Cloaca Maxima, one of the world's earliest and at the time largest sewer systems, built in the 6th century BC, right about here, and going all the way to the Tiber River. Of course it wasn't perfect. It clogged, it stank, and when it rained too much, it could overflow. But compared to most ancient civilizations, this was cutting-edge engineering. So, next time you're in the comfort of your own modern bathroom with your own roll of toilet paper, be thankful, because at least you didn't have to share it with anyone else, or worse, have someone else wipe you with it.